Uh,
So, can you, I'll start with you, Ramona. Can you give me a little bit of background on Nicole and kind of how she came to be in this sort of complicated, crazy space?
yeah, Nicole Lee works in circulation at the local newspaper, and eventually, once Ned comes into the picture, she becomes one of the volunteer journalists.
And Melvin Dietrich.
so Detrick, he works in sales at the newspaper. He sells ads, and he's not really allowed to engage or interact with anybody else in the office. So given the opportunity to join the newspaper side and be a reporter, he jumps at it specifically so he could talk to his crush that we find in Nicole Lee.
So, right now in real life, the media is going through a transition. We see that reflected through this sitcom. What would you fight harder to save, your favorite podcast or newspaper?
Hmm. I think newspaper is like a lost art, and reading feels like it's a lost art. I think there's more integrity in a local newspaper. The thing about a podcast, anybody could get a podcast set up. So, they don't have to have any background in it. They don't have to have any research, any sources. They could just say anything and it be broadcast to millions of people. So I feel like the responsible thing to do would be to save the newspaper.
So we're seeing, as you mentioned, Ned is new to the group and he's dealing with everyone's quirks. And it sort of feels like, obviously, from the original inspiration, The Office, the camera is an additional character to all of this. So, what are your thoughts about the mockumentary in this space? What made it an exciting project for you want to be involved in?
It's definitely not something I've ever done before. Usually performers are told not to look into camera. So I had to, just like Nicole, my character, get used to the camera being on them in that sense. And yeah, it's very new and developing that relationship and figuring out what that relationship is. I think it's still developing.
Yeah, is a thing that's it's unnatural. Even though it feels like it's natural to look at a camera, it's kind of not. 'Cause even when you know you're on screen, you're not supposed to look at a camera. If you think about anything outside of this format, I think that's something very specific to this format that the guys do with this show. Because if you look at any other mockumentary, I'm not, I'm sorry, not a mockumentary, a documentary, they don't look at the camera unless it's like a talking head interview. Like no one looks at the camera unless they're addressing the cameraman specifically, like turn his camera away, don't put me on camera. So it's very unnatural for me, at least. I'm still trying to find the logic behind when, why, and how he'll look at the camera. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like the most complicated part about it. It's like knowing when to look at the camera and how to look at it. Because if you do it wrong, it feel fake. So I kind of just avoid it.
I love that. So your characters are obviously trying to revive something historic, right? What is something historic from the culture, whatever culture you choose, the culture period, that you would work hard and put this type of effort in to keep current and valuable?
We were talking about the importance of community earlier. I feel like a lot of times, especially in Los Angeles and all the hustling and being busy and being spread out, it's kind of easy to like miss saying hi to people on the street or having like real relationships with the people around you and your neighbors and whatnot. So that would be a part of culture that I would love to have back more so.
Yeah, for me, it's just like the overconsumption of media by like this generation, whether it be TikTok, social media, a million things on streaming. It's just like so much things that we're processing and taking in that I feel like it saturates um it saturates our ability to hold focus, to communicate with one another, to build community. to have patience with one another because everything is so accessible. You can call someone on your cell phone, talk to them whenever you want to. You can go to YouTube and look up whatever video you want to. Like everything is kind of on demand. You can Postmates, whatever. So I feel like the advancement of technology is it connects more people, but I don't know if that's a benefit when it comes to humanity. I don't think we're supposed to be able to interact with a million people and have access to everything at the snap of a finger. It makes people lazy, and I feel like yeah, I don't know if it's for the betterment of mankind. That's kind of a deeper answer, but if we can go back 20 years, I think it would be good.